partners and friends. This International Day would not have come to light without the tremendous support of our member states. What were the reasons for this engagement in light and light-based technologies? What is at stake in member states? What are the hopes? What is the impact we would like to have? For a few short highlights to these questions, I have now the honor to invite to join me on the stage His Excellency Federico Salas Lofte, Ambassador of the Mexican delegation, Her Excellency Anna Bosman, Ambassador for the Ghana delegation, His Excellency Alexander Kuznetsov, Ambassador of the Russian Federation, and Mr. Charles Kingston, Permanent Delegate for New Zealand. Please join me here on the stage. And I'll start here on my right. And Your Excellency, Ambassador Salas Lofte, Mexico has been really one of the main drivers behind the International Year of Light, but also now behind the International Day of Light. And as the Director General also mentioned, we have in Salmiro an exhibition on that engagement. Please give us just briefly your perspective on the International Day of Light and how Mexico was and is involved in this initiative.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Assistant Director General. I want to first state that I'm deeply honored to participate together with my colleagues from Ghana, Russia, and New Zealand in the opening of this first International Day of Light. After the great success of the Year of Light, the International Year of Light in 2015, under the leadership of UNESCO, promoted also by Mexico and other countries, it was clear that this International Day of Light will provide a continuing follow-up in raising the profile of science and technology, stimulating education, and improving the quality of life worldwide. Mexico is strongly committed to promote the objectives that brings us together today. Light has always played a very important role in Mexican culture since ancient times, as it was synonymous with wisdom. It defined transitions of time and space. It distinguished life from death. And this is why Mexico has always given a special value to light and is strongly committed to this initiative. It is in this context that in October 2017, Mexico established the International Day of Light National Committee, which is composed of numerous scientific and educational institutions, such as the Museum of Light of the National Autonomous University of Mexico. It is precisely this institution that is presenting a very wonderful exhibition here at headquarters at the Salmiro, and I invite everyone here to visit and enjoy the exhibition. We consider it crucial that citizens around the world, especially children and young people, fully appreciate how light and its applications contribute to the development of all societies. It is essential to motivate interest in scientific careers to new generations, especially from developing countries. The International Day of Light offers UNESCO opportunity to stimulate international and regional cooperation and to encourage new initiatives and partnerships as we advance the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And in this sense, let there be many International Days of Light. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Salas Lofte. Ghana has been, with other African countries, also a very important partner of both the International Year of Light and the International Day of Light now this year. And as Ambassador Salas Lofte just mentioned, obviously the importance of light for partnerships, but also for children. I just would like to ask you now, Your Excellency Ambassador Anna Bosman, could you perhaps address a few specific issues showing how light now is important to Ghana and to other countries in Africa.
Thank you very much, Flavia. Firstly, I would like to tell you how I'm very delighted to be able to speak at the very first celebration of the International Day of Light. And on behalf of Ghana, my country, I would like to say that we are so proud that we were one of the leading scientists, one of our leading scientists, the late Professor Francis Alote, was one of the very ones who, international drivers for this initiative. And I'd like us to think of him at this time. But I believe that the International Day of Light will prove and will give to us the opportunity to continue the tremendous work that we began in 2015 during the International Year of Light. And this was to promote the basic sciences at UNESCO through broad themes of light that traverses different disciplines. Light provides so many wonderful examples of how fundamental science can feed into practical technologies that are essential in progressing the 2030 agenda, particularly in Africa. So the cross-cutting nature of light and light-based technologies has really become for us imperative in addressing issues which are confronting today the African continent. As outlined in the 2063 agenda, if you recall, the Africa that we want. Light-based technologies, as you know, are essential for providing solutions which are related to communications, medicine, energy, agriculture, as well, of course, as environmental monitoring. This explains why in Ghana, for example, we are actively working in these areas with planned upgrades to research and to education, capacity in the optical sciences, through the application laboratories, and also laser. We have a laser medical application laboratory, and the creation of a solar technology research center. I'm guessing that you're not unaware that we have this great potential of solar energy in meeting environmental concerns in Africa. As a matter of fact, today, at the Museum of Sciences and Technology in Adabraka in Ghana, in Accra, the Museum of Light exhibition is being commissioned. I think I showed you a picture of what was happening in Accra. It's been commissioned by the Minister of Science with a particular and to stimulate young people's interest in many of these properties. So we call on the lights community around the world to support Ghana in our efforts at raising greater awareness related to light and light-based technologies. I thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Bosman of Ghana, raising awareness. And you also mentioned the basic sciences and the importance to also look into the application into real daily impact of the basic sciences. Et avec ce pensée, je me tourne maintenant vers la Fédération de la Russie, fervente promoteur des sciences fondamentales au sein de l'UNESCO. Et de nombreux scientifiques russes ont apporté d'importantes contributions à la science et à la technologie. Ambassadeur Kuznetsov, pouvez-vous décrire les priorités de la Russie dans le cadre de la Journée internationale de la lumière?
Merci Madame la Directrice Générale. Notre délégation est très heureuse d'appartenir au groupe de pays ici représentés qui ont pris l'initiative concernant la célébration de la Journée internationale de la lumière. Et en ce qui concerne la Russie, ça s'explique par le fait que l'intérêt profond envers la problématique de la lumière constitue une tradition très ancienne de la science russe. En 1756, le fondateur de notre école scientifique, Mikhail Lomonosov, a présenté sa propre conception des origines physiques de la lumière. En 1876, l'ingénieur électricien russe Pavel Yavlochkin a créé les moyens qui ont beaucoup popularisé son nom pour illuminer plusieurs villes de l'Europe, de l'Amérique, y compris quelques avenues parisiennes, l'invention qui est appelée la bougie Yavlochkov. Et la date d'aujourd'hui, 16 mai, c'est l'anniversaire de la création de l'autre moyen extrêmement important dans le domaine de la lumière. Je me réfère à la création des lasers en 1960. C'était les scientifiques russes, Basov et Prokhorov, qui ont reçu le prix Nobel pour créer les moyens techniques pour mettre en service laser, la technologie de laser qui est utilisée aujourd'hui presque dans tous les domaines de notre vie moderne. Ce ne sont que quelques exemples qui expliquent l'attachement profond de la Russie aux problématiques de la lumière et la raison pourquoi nous avons soutenu avec toute notre énergie l'initiative concernant la journée internationale de lumière. Nous espérons que cette célébration renforce le rôle des sciences fondamentales dans le programme de l'UNESCO et nous sommes sûrs que cette initiative va ouvrir de nouveaux espaces pour le progrès scientifique. Je me permets de faire la citation d'une phrase d'un académicien français du XVIIIe siècle, Charles Picot Duclos, qui a dit « Plus on a de lumière, plus on a de devoirs à remplir ». Merci.
Monsieur l'ambassadeur, aussi pour cet engagement énergétique pour les sciences fondamentales ici à l'UNESCO. And we've been in Mexico, in Ghana, in Russia, and now we're making a big jump towards New Zealand, also an essential partner on a bit of the other side of the world here. And I finally would like to ask you, Charles Kingston, permanent delegate, how the International Day of Light is viewed by New Zealand and how this initiative can also link with your national activities with and for UNESCO.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I want to acknowledge you, Assistant Director General, my colleagues, excellencies from Mexico, Ghana, the Russian Federation, and I also want to acknowledge Professor John Dudley, who is sitting there in the front row and played a big role in bringing this International Day of Light together, and I know John will be speaking later on. To answer your question, I want to come to it from the angle of being a New Zealander. John Dudley is a New Zealander, Sir Peter Gluckman is one of our scientists who will be speaking later is a New Zealander, but I mean, I guess one of and this resonates for why our National Commission is so engaged in this issue, is that the light in New Zealand is particular. If any of you have been to New Zealand, you feel this light, you see this light, and there's something special about it. I come from Gisborne, which is on the east coast of the North Island, and this is one of the first cities, it is the first city in the world to see the sunlight every day. And I was amongst thousands of people in the year 2000. I was one of the first people in this room to see the new millennium. So New Zealand is very much a country of the future because it's the first to see the light. So last night, the Auckland Harbour Bridge was illuminated well before today's day started. So as I say, we're a country of the future. And I've lost my notes, so I better find them. But the other important angle is culture, and that comes down to that resonance, that strong connection that people feel in New Zealand to light. And I just want to just explain to you that for our first peoples in New Zealand, from the beginning, light had been a defining concept. Light figures prominently in Māori culture. Māori are indigenous people of New Zealand. In the beginning, Māori gods lived in darkness. It was only when the Sky Father, Ranganui, and the Earth Mother, Papatuanuku, were split apart that Te Ao Marama emerged, the world of light. And I'm pretty sure there will be some scientific analogies with that myth, as there often are. But this founding myth underscores the dynamic movement from te kore, nothingness, to te po, which is darkness, to enlightenment. This is a metaphor that implies a journey to enlightenment and understanding. But it also emphasizes, and this is important, light is hard-won and it's worth fighting for. And I think the community of people in this room today are all fighting for light. And the International Day of Light reminds us that light is worth fighting for. And it plays a key role in the lives of our citizens, in science and culture and education. And I just want to end with quoting an American poet, Robert Creeley. New Zealand light, intense, clear, particularizing, ruthless, unlike any I've previously known. In my own concerns, it brought all things factually to stand in the light. And that's where finally one wants to see them. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
These messages also on the importance of light, these messages coming from New Zealand on the importance of light in the sciences, in the arts, in the spirituality, and I think also joining Ghana, and I probably would say the whole panel here also, that this International Day of Light obviously is about engagement to bring light to everybody around the globe. And with this, Excellencies, I would like to thank you for your insights and your support for this incredible first International Day of Light. And I'd please like to ask you to take your seats again and enjoy the program in celebration of this International Day of Light. And as the Director General also has mentioned, which also marks the first anniversary of Sesame, of which we will hear later. And please take the t-shirt of celebrating today, either for yourself, your children, or grandchildren. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you very much for being with us.